Hello, I thought I'd go round today. Do you like it? I've just been messing around while you've been watching the intro. I'll go round for a little bit. What do you think? Tell me if you like it or if you don't like it. Of course, I can do different backgrounds around the round. Let me know. I just thought I'd mix it up a little bit because I could. Okay, we've got a lot coming up today, and the title today is Come Learn Something New Today. But we're going to learn things in a really fun way. And I'm going to try and have you watching this whole live that you leave it knowing something or many things that you didn't know before you watched this. Let's see what we've got today, So we've got loads coming up, too much to mention. The usual suspects, usual themes, but other things too. So I think the first thing we should do is get going on that. And let's start today with this. Well, the first thing is my neighbour came and picked our carobs. Why don't I pick my carobs? Well, it's a little thing. Our land and many, many bits of land beyond ours and before ours, the whole stretch for, I'd say, a few miles, all belong to them initially. Now, when I say my neighbour, she doesn't live here. She has a couple of properties in the area, but one is her farm and stables, the one near me. They used to use as kind of the office, so the farm workers would come up there and collect their wages and things like that. They use it at weekends sometimes. But anyway, when I talk about neighbours, we don't have any neighbours. It's people that own property near us, but not resident here. And I kind of think, well, they grew those trees. And she asked one year if did we want to use them. Of course, when we first lived here, we didn't know anything about them. And she said, because they feed their goats. They don't have goats anymore, but they feed their goats and their horses. And this is how I know about it's very good to give your animals carobs. It keeps their skin healthy, their coat shiny and glossy, and it's very good for them. It keeps their stomachs working properly. So I said yes. And then every year, bless her, she asked, do you want your carobs? I was like, no, let's have this as an annual thing. And of course, you could sell them on, which she doesn't do, or you could process them, and you could make them in many things, many things. You could make them into makeup, plastics, like a substitute for plastic, of course, food items as well. The old records, what you play on a record player, records, it used to go into the making of those. So many things, medicines, but of course you could make them into toffees and sauces, like a chocolate sauce. So many things. But you know me, I'm not into processing or making things. I really don't do that. So I've said no, it's a thing now. Every year you can just come. And she still asks. And the last few years, there's been something left on our gate a few days later. She's picked them all now, but she hasn't collected the sacks yet because she gets her son to come round at some point and then collect them on the truck. So they've all been done. There's a few dropped from other trees, and I will go round and just rake the ones up. She keeps it all tidy, what she picks, but I will go round, rake them up and take them down to the stables for the horses there, any that are left, because she doesn't like to intrude too much on our land. So that's what I will do with those. I have been planting seeds. Planting seeds are plenty. I went through all my seed packets. Now, this is the first thing I'm going to teach you today if you already knew everything about carobs. So when you buy your seed packet, particularly as many of you now buy them from catalogues and from other countries and they get imported, you order them online. Be aware where those seeds have come from, as in where the seeds were actually grown. So not where you're ordering them from, but where the seeds actually come from. And if they come in a seed packet with writing on, like you used to buy from the shops or garden centres, look there at the country of origin, because those seed packets, what they say on them as to when to plant, when to harvest, so on and so forth, they are talking about the country from where those seeds were manufactured. So, for example, if I happen to buy seeds from, say, England, the dates on those where it says when to sow them will be completely wrong. They would be completely wrong because their weather is completely different to somewhere like Cyprus. Most of the seeds that I get, they actually originate from Italy. Now, although Italy can be very warm and it's the Mediterranean, it is much nearer to England than it is to me. So that's a much warmer country than England. They also have the colder winters, which we don't really get. So be aware of that, where you are buying your seeds from, the actual seed packet, what country that originated from, if it tells you when to sow them. So I've been going through my seed packets and just for fun looking at when it says to sow them and when I actually do sow them. If you know, I do what many of you would sow in spring. I sow those seeds in winter. So I'm kind of ahead. I'm not talking about everybody because, of course, there's some countries like mine. But if you are from a hot country, then you would be sowing what most people sow in spring or even late spring. I sow in winter. So be aware of that. That's something that you might not be aware of. You just buy a seed packet, look on it, oh, sow now. And then people say, why didn't they grow? Or why did they rot, maybe even? So do be aware of that. That's something to really be aware of. So what have I sown now? I'm looking at my list because I actually write out where I plant them, because you know me, from 1 minute to the next, I think I know what I've done and then I forget. So I have sown, these are all seed, and these are all seeds that I have grown previously and saved the seeds, apart from a couple. So I have sowed leeks. Red onions is a seed packet. White round onions is a seed packet, because what I do is grow some and then divide them and grow more. But I wanted some fresh seeds. So the white onions, round onions, the big round ones, and the red onions are packets. White Lisbon onions. Now, Mike was desperate for me to sow some more plum tomatoes. I don't think they'll work, but I did those. I have sown some more beetroot. I'm just reading through because I've put where I've put them as well. Some normal round radish. Okra. Oh, not okra. Sorry, I put by my okra plant. I have not sown okra. Broccoli. Lettuce. Many types of lettuce. Fennel. I haven't had much success with fennel yet, because fennel and dill that I sowed last year, I didn't realise they would get plagued by caterpillars. So I will be aware of that now. Long radish. Now that's the white icicle radish. They were tasty. And then I've got some dark red. They're not just your normal spicy red ones. I can't remember what the variety is, but they look really dark, not your normal red radish long ones. No, they're really dark and kind of speckly, but I forget what they are. Then I went to the cookout area where our guests stay, and they've got a little garden there. So I wanted to get that going because I've got some coming, I think the end of October, our next guest, if some don't book prior to that. So I wanted to top those up. So I planted some more parsley down there, some coriander seeds there, some Malabar down there, and some rocket. I went to the vertical raised pallet growing wall, which is herbs, and I just went through any of those that didn't have enough in them or spaces, and so I just topped all those up. So no more basil. Mike said you've got enough basil, so that's. I didn't plant any more Malabar spinach because that's gone crazy as well, but I just topped that up. In the cookout area, I have saved a bag for chicory. I planted endive, and I'm saving a pot there for dill. So that's all what I planted. I got it all done in one morning. No wonder I'm so tired now. I'm so tired. I got that all done in one morning. I kind of did some and stopped. I said, I'll do the rest another time. But I don't like things pending now. I don't like things pending. So I was pleased I got it done. I don't like the backwards and forwards, and it's not a case of take everything with me because it was a windy day, so I didn't want the seeds blowing away. And then I went to plant in the cookout, and I realised one of the pet food bags in there had actually split. So then I had to come and get a big bucket so I could scoop all that out and then get another pet food bag and put in. So it was a long process indeed. We have a comment. We have Shirley from Glitter World. Glitter Bomb's my friend. How are things coming along? Well, that's the update on what I've replanted because I'm desperate to have some food for the winter because of all the water issues here. I have food and I have some in the freezer, but I haven't had any that I can restock the freezer with. So when that's gone, it's gone. And I haven't obviously got many seeds from the crops I would have grown had they all survived. So you're still on, I think you've seen part 2 of what survived in my garden. I think there's 4 parts to that. So you'll see what did survive. So guys, do go and check out Glitter World. And while you're on her channel, do subscribe. Okay, so while we've been talking about what's coming up for my garden, let's check out this. I have been so busy today editing. I've got my trip away still. I've nearly finished editing that into different parts. I've got one more bit to do, and then I want to decide on the order that I'm going to post it. So that's coming up. But to get my head sorted out, the difference between what I've edited and what I've posted, let's look at what's coming up on Tranquility Through Life's Natural Beauty channel. So let's throw that up on a banner so you can find that channel if you want. So on Tranquility Through Life's Natural Beauty channel, I have got my growing up in the 1970s, my first memories, episode 1 of my childhood memories of growing up in the 70s. So that's pretty cool. I really enjoyed doing that. And I've inserted pictures as I talk. I've inserted pictures. So if you want to learn more about me and also find out about me growing up and what my memories are, go on to Tranquility Through Life's Natural Beauty, and it's going to have its own playlist, so check out that. So that's coming up. And of course, more funny signs. If you want to see all my funny videos, that has a playlist on this channel, and it's called Fun Videos. And that's got videos full of funny signs and jokes and much more besides. And I've done episode 15 of I like to call it Dawn's Diary. It's kind of a video vlog of little segments of things of my week. So that's a great way, if you don't like watching one long video, it's got Monday and something, Tuesday and then a little something. It goes through 1 week and you get lots of little snippets. Imagine lots of shorts put together. It's not that, but it's like that, just little short bits. Monday, something. Tuesday, I did this. Wednesday, so you get lots of little bits there. And of course, there's also another horse video when I last went down to the horse stables. So if you're interested in horses, then there. So take a look at my playlist on Tranquility Through Life's Natural Beauty. Now, let's go on to this channel, what we've posted on this channel. And as I say, I get so confused what I've edited today and what I've posted. So let's have a look. We have coming up on Friday is another one of my walks. So if you like seeing where I live, as I say, the walks are all from my house. They're not miles and miles. They're higher up the mountain or around my house area. So if you like to see more of where I live, then take a look at that. Wednesday will be Gardening Glossary, another episode if you want to learn more about garden words. And if you think you know all your garden words, do look at the whole series. I've linked below that video, all the previous ones. So garden words and terms. And then today I posted, it was part 2, I posted today of what survived in my garden when I had no water and also a heat wave. So if you think you're having trouble in your garden, I do throw in some tips there of what to do. And the way I protect them from heat and lack of water is also the same way as you can protect from frost, cold, anything like that. We don't have frost or snow, but you can do the same tips. And then make sure you've checked out the collared dove video that I posted on Friday if you're interested in birds. So while we're talking about birds, let's go on to this. Okay, do you like me in my circle? Do let me know. I won't know if you don't tell me. Is it annoying or do you like it? So from my bird book today, we're looking at the jay. If you don't know what a jay looks like, that is a jay. So looking at a jay. And this is from the crow family. A jay is from the crow family. Its length is 34 centimetres, which is 13.5 inches. It has pale blue wing patch, a white rump, a pinkish fawn body. And when flying away, you notice its black wings and tail contrast with the white rump and the white pale blue wing patches. The crown can be raised into a crest, giving a domed appearance to the head. The most colourful member of the crow family, the jay is becoming a regular visitor to rural and suburban gardens where there are plenty of mature trees. It is often shy and, in its natural woodland home, usually gives away its presence only by its harsh craw cries, but it may be seen as it flaps jerkily and heavily across clearings on its broad wings. Jays visit bird tables most readily in the early morning before people are about. Voice. It has a rasping cr sound and used as an alarm call and in social interactions. There are a number of quieter warbling notes. Jays are good mimics and imitate other crows, tawny owls, and even birdsong. Jays bury surplus acorns and can remember where they have buried them, even through 30 centimetres of snow. Feeding. Acorns are the important food for most of the year. Jays also eat other seeds and fruit, as well as insects, in particular beetles and caterpillars, and occasionally mice and voles. On the bird table, jays come for vegetable scraps, which they carry away to eat or bury. Some have learnt to take peanuts from the mesh bags or wire spiral dispensers. Nesting. Both sexes build the untidy nest in a tree or tall shrub, usually at some height above the ground. It is mainly composed of twigs broken off trees, bound together with earth and lined with roots, hair and fibres. Jays sometimes rob small birds' nests, perhaps only when they have young to feed. Nesting information. May to June. 1 brood, 3 to 7 brown flecked greenish eggs. 16 to 17 days incubation, female. 21 to 23 days fledging, and 8 weeks until independent. So did you know about the jay? Do you have jays? Do you have jays in your country? Do let me know. Okay, let's go on to today's quote corner. Okay, I'm back in my hole again. So I thought today's hacks, I would read to you about how to recognise good quality beef and good quality lamb. These are key chef points. See how many you know. First of all, let's begin with beef. Number 1, meat should be firm to touch, not squidgy. Number 2, the lean should be bright red with a brownish tinge. Dark coloured meat with a dry appearance usually indicate that it is from old or an inferior animal, or that the meat has been cut and exposed to the air for some time. So very important. Number 3, the fat should be cream colour. Sometimes it can actually be almost yellow, and this is due to certain breeding and feeding. And yes, if you're someone today who has perhaps chicken that have been fed on corn, they do actually look yellow. Number 4, the flesh should contain small flecks of fat, giving a marbling effect. This produces tenderness in cooking. The outside fat is no substitute for this. Very lean meat can be tough and flavourless. And number 5 for the beef, a layer of gristle between the muscle and the outer layer of fat indicates an old animal. The amount of visible gristle varies with the cut, but prime cuts should contain very little. Let's go on now to recognising good quality lamb. Again, let me know in the comments under this video if you knew any of these. Number 1, so for lamb, the colour of flesh will vary from light pink in a young lamb to a light or dark red depending on the breed and age of the sheep. Number 2, in the spring and early summer, the fat should be white and firm. Number 3, brittle white indicates that the lamb has been too long in the freezer. Yellowish fat shows age. However, if longer and slower methods of cooking are used with these joints, they have good flavour, but quite a strong taste. And number 4, a layer of fat should cover the legs and the shoulder, and they should look plump. A blue tinge in the knuckle bones and a lighter colour flesh indicates that the animal is young. So I hope that's been helpful to you. Let's have a little light relief now and go on to this. Okay, joke of the day. This is still from my After Dinner Speeches book. And this one goes, as a seaman, I was detailed to a storing party on the forward gangway. We were taking supplies from the store ship across to another ship. Handling the frozen carcasses of meat from the bottom of the gangway, I dropped a pig, which bobbed off down the side of the ship. I ran up the gangway, past my colleagues, raced aft to the quarterdeck, saluting, grabbed a boat hook and went down the after gangway, waiting for the pig. Presently, a voice from above said, "Below there, what are you doing?" I looked up. The marine officer of the day was leaning over the gangway with his telescope tucked under his arm. "I'm fishing for a pig, sir." "Don't mess about." "My goodness, you've caught one." I think that's quite funny. What do you think? Okay, let's move along and let's do a bit of this. It's very lonely on my live today. If you're watching this back later, I'm all on my Todd. There's nobody watching. Give me some love in the comment if you're watching this back later. I'm entertaining myself. So I thought I'd share this with you. Shall we go on to Big Square? Let's go on to Big Square. Let's see if I can find how to get myself back to Big Square. Oh, maybe it was over here. One sec. Perhaps I can't do it now. I've started. I'm sure I can. Wait. See if I could get myself back to Square. Here we go. We can go. Oh, we could go Square Small. Let's do that one. We can do normal. Let's not do normal. Okay, it's just easier to show you things now. Now, you may have seen this before on my other channel, Tranquility Through Life's Natural Beauty. Do go and check that channel out. And as I say, it's something for everybody on that channel. So you need to look at the playlist, what I do over there, because it's all sorts of things. So I have this file, and of course, that's quite me, positive mind, vibes, and life. And you would have seen this if you watch all the videos on my other channel. And kendima, which is embroidery in Greek. See, you've learnt something else new today. I decided, as embroidery was brand new to me, what I would do is, I've never done it before, I would look up in my book. Let me just turn my brightness down a little bit, because now I'm showing you things, and yeah, it will go dark after I've just held something up to you. Turn my brightness down a little, and there we go. And that shouldn't be so bad. So I was learning from embroidery books that I got from a charity shop, and what I did was tried out. These are my first time. I'm not like these people who do something and then try again and show you the best. These were my first ever ones. And then I wrote down the numbers of the stitch in the book, so what page number in the book they were. And then when I filled a frame up, I then put them in this file, because I won't remember the names of all the stitches. So I thought what I would do is, when I want to do another embroidery piece, I will flick through this and go, oh, I like that stitch, that'd be good for that. And because I won't remember the names, I've got the page numbers. So if I'm looking for a particular sort of stitch, and from this, I will also see what ones I could do easily and what ones aren't so good. So there's some better ones there. Of course, the more I do it, the more I learn the names. I quite like most of those, actually. Quite those. I like the ones where they're more than one colour there. So I'm hoping this is inspiring you to give something a go. With all my disabilities, if I can do it, you can do it. I tell you that now. If I can do it, you can do it. So we've got some more there. And I'm thinking this might just be a good way for you to just like have a go. Don't worry about making something. Just get one of the wooden frames, embroidery frames. This was just old clothes I just cut up and practiced on. So even if you don't feel you can do a whole project, just enjoy learning some stitches. And I'm not very good at following instructions. It's too complex. So if I can do it, you can certainly do it. And as I say, this might just be a good way for you to have a go. Now, I did do at school. This was the only bit of embroidery I did in the first year of high school. We had to do embroidery. And I remember doing it, but I don't remember much about it. Even chain stitch, which is his shell, that's the one I remembered the name of, and I still had to relearn how to do it. Had to relearn that. I've just dropped some paper. What have I got on these? This is, yes, I've just got bits of paper in here to remind me. For example, I have shown on Tranquility Through Life's Natural Beauty. I have shown on that my first project I've done using some of these stitches. So go and look there. And what I did was, as another reference, I wrote down each part of the bike that I did, what page number it was from the charity shop embroidery books, and what it is then called. So again, if I look at a piece, I think, oh, that stitch would do well. What was it? I've got a reference to that. And I might do that with every embroidery I do. Have a little reference. I've used the back of the kit, so I've got the picture of it. Now, I didn't do the stitches that they may have done here, because there was nothing on this one. One of my viewers gave me this, sent me this, which was so kind. And there was no reference to what stitch to use. There was a bit of card that joined on to this, and it showed you, I think, 6 or so stitches. And it says you can use any stitch, whatever you like, or your own stitches. So I didn't use what stitches, because it didn't even indicate, oh, this stitch if you want to use here, or this stitch here, which was one of the hardest things when you've never done it before, to not know really what stitches suit what things. For example, this bit here on top of the wheel is a really huge bit. It's a really huge bit, and I didn't really know what I could use there. Yes, there are YouTube videos, but with my condition, I find it extremely hard to follow someone doing something. I physically need someone sort of not even doing it. I need to do it, and they say, do this, do this, do this, and they're watching me do it. Very confusing, but yes, that is something. Okay, so I hope that's inspired you a little bit, and now let's move on and let's do a bit of this. Now I've got a video coming out on this channel. Most of my declutter videos are on tranquility through life's natural beauty, but I'm doing one on this channel. It's coming out Friday or Monday, I can't remember, Friday or Monday, Friday I think. And the reason it's on this channel is because it involved going to the dump and some salvage I did at the dump. That's what's on this channel, because all my salvage stuff is on this channel. So it started off with us getting rid of old TVs and old computers. When I say old computers, I mean the ones, what are they called? The ones with the great big boxes that you stood on the floor, the big system. Old computers. And because we were doing that, one of the TVs was like our main one. We haven't used it for about 3 years, so we decided to get rid of it, because Mike said the last time he used it, I think the screen kept going off or something was wrong with it, and it's no point sitting there. So it's gone to the dump. And under that TV on the unit, there's 2 drawers underneath. So I said to Mike, right, what we're going to do is the top drawer of that, we put all the remote controls, leads, instructions, warranties, anything that goes with the shelf underneath that is all like video recorders, Skybox, all those kind of DVD players. I'm not really sure what half of the things are. It's another time we've got to go through them all, but you never know what links into what now and what doesn't. I'm sure at some point they will go. But for now, all the stuff that goes with those is in the top drawer, which now meant the bottom drawer was empty because of everything else we threw away that went with other stuff. Now I have a bar. It was the original kitchen in our winter lounge, and that has become our bar. And there's drawers in part of this bar system. Behind the bar there's a worktop, and one of those drawers was electrical stuff like phones and Walkmans and anything at all, plugs was in there. And I said to Mike, well, now the obvious thing to do is to take those out of there, obviously sort what's in there. It's the sort of drawer you just put the leads and whatever in, and headphones, and you never really go through it again. So the obvious thing was to take all of that out there, sort them out, and then anything we still need go in the bottom underneath all these gadget stuff, that drawer. So then all electrical stuff is over there. And then the bar area, which one of the drawers is like candles, it's dining stuff, drink stuff, that kind of thing. So one drawer is all like beer mats, the little tiny napkins that you put a glass on, a drink on. So like a beer mat, but it's like a napkin. Got lots of those, cocktail sticks, all that is in one drawer. And then another drawer is candles. Now I've got some other candles and bits and pieces in boxes opposite that on the shelf. So I want to another time go through all those and put those in the bottom. and then I show you what's in the cupboards above that. So I'll leave you to see what's above that in loads of cupboards. Remember, it was a kitchen originally, so it's like all kitchen cupboards, loads of them across the top. So sorted that out. So this whole declutter video, I show you first of all that we've gone to the dump, and I show you what we salvaged from the dump. So if you're into my salvaging, and I tell you what the things I'm going to use for, because rarely do I find something at the dump, bring it home and use it for its purpose. No, my joy is to find a purpose in rubbish. That's my joy. So I take you to the dump, show you another section of the dump that you won't have seen. You normally see where I have to lean over the skips and dumpster dive, but this is from another area. So I show you that, and then I come home and show you what we got from there and what I'm going to use it for. And then the rest of the video is going through these drawers, this electrical drawer, before I put it in the new electrical drawer, and you will be amazed at some of the stuff that we've found. And I'm not going to spoil it for you. When I talk old things, you will be astounded as to what I had tucked in the back of the drawer, and more than one strange old thing. So yes, look out for that. As I say, I can't remember when I said that was coming out. Did I tell you earlier? Let me see. It'll be Monday, next Monday, because I haven't posted it yet. I always write ahead what's ready to post, but I haven't posted. So that will be next Monday. So look out for that. You'll certainly see that. Okay. Yeah, so what can you learn from that? Well, when you throw something away, is there another purpose that you could use it for? Or have you got friends like me that will be grateful for what you think is rubbish, that they could repurpose, even if it's something for their garden to use as a drip tray? So think on before you throw away. Okay, some stuff about Cyprus. We have so many different festivals and events. There's always something on somewhere. And we went to a beer festival. I don't drink beer, but I knew most beer festivals serve cider. Now, I do like cider. I'm particularly partial to different flavour ciders. So now you get lots of different fruit flavour ciders. And what I had there was, it was a mixed one. It was blood orange with grapefruit. That was a lovely cider. That was my favourite. You get different berry ones. You get strawberries. You get mango and passion fruit. I think you get like red berry, as in summer fruit berries. All sorts of different ones. I think there's a ginger and something. You can get one now, but that's what I had. So you'll see that coming up soon at the beer festival. So that was something we've done. And coming up, what are the dates? Because they've now changed it. We have a wine festival every year in Limassol in Cyprus in the municipal gardens, which was actually the old zoo. It was the old zoo. It was massive. When we first came here, there was still a zoo there, not as big. They were reducing. Before someone says to me, there is still a zoo there. That's not where I'm talking about. Oh, and we're talking Limassol because there is a zoo in Paphos. I haven't actually ever been, but there is a big zoo in Paphos. but I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about in Limassol. There is a little petting type zoo now, but that's not quite it. That's on a very corner. It's not where I'm talking about. The municipal gardens next to it, where it's that big park. If you know Cyprus and there's that big park, that was all a zoo, all of it. And then when we came, it was much reduced, but there was still, I show you in the video that I'm posting soon, it's the beer festival and the wine festival I've done as one video. So you see a little bit of the beer festival where I show you, you can see it was remnants of the old zoo. And I think it was the penguin area that I show you. But when you walk round, you can still see that it was a zoo. There's remnants. If you're aware it was a zoo, you'll see something. What was that? What was that? So, yeah, so there's did I tell you the dates? No. So the wine festival this year in Limassol is the 28th of September to the 6th of October. Now that is later than it normally is, and I believe it's also one day shorter than normal. And we feel very sorry for tourists who come every year for the wine festival specifically, and they may well have booked last year or even earlier this year to go, and it's not on when it normally is. They say they've changed it to these dates to extend the tourist time. No, they've messed it up. And of course, October, there's a possibility of some showers, or as it's so late at night, it could be much cooler. And Cypriot ladies like to dress up and wear like summery floaty clothes. I'm not sure they do that in the evening then. I mean, it could be lovely still. We just don't know. October, November, December, we could have beautiful hot sunny days still, but you can't guarantee it then. So they are two of big things here. The beer festival, they also have they have one in Limassol and they have one in our capital, Lefkosia. Obviously, Lefkosia, or some of you might call it Nicosia, but it's Lefkosia. That is too far really for us to go. And the Limassol one, you have to pay. I think Mike said it was something ridiculous, like 20 euros or something. In Cyprus, local things, they don't barely charge you anything. So you can see it's for tourism. You pay that, and then you have to pay for the beers or drinks when you go in. The reason we went to the Paphos one is you don't pay to go in, you just pay for the drinks that you have when you're in there. Now, when you buy your drinks in there, you get I'm going to say plastic cup. It's not plastic. In Cyprus now, you can't import or manufacture plastic items. You haven't been able to for a few years. To normal people, it will look like plastic, but it is not plastic. But I'm going to say plastic cup, so you know what I mean. It's like really hard, thick, chunky stuff. It's different compounds, so it's not plastic. And when you buy your first drink there, you pay extra and you get it's like a beer cup. You'll see on my video, it's like a beer cup. It's about that big, like a tumbler. And you get that, and it's got printed with the beer festival on. But then that's your cup, and you don't have to pay again. If you want to pay again and have another cup, you're welcome to, but you don't need to. And then you just pay for your drinks. Now, obviously, the drinks there are going to be more expensive than if you go and buy them in a bar or somewhere else, because these stalls have had to pay to have their stalls there. So, yeah, the drinks were anything between 5 and 7 euros, depending on what you had. So they weren't cheap. And you'll see on the video what we both had. So they weren't cheap. There's plenty of food stalls there. We had Mexican, but there was all sorts of things. There was your normal high street takeaway type places. And there was things like hot dogs and things like that as well. So you could eat more or less anything, pizzas and chicken and whatever you wanted. But we like Mexicans, we have Mexican there. And free entertainment, depending on what night you went, it does tell you in advance what the entertainment is at the beer festival. Now, when you go to the wine festival, you pay a small charge to go in per person. And I can't tell you this year's prices because it's not been published yet, but it's not too bad. Then when you go in, you can have free wine. The local municipality provides free wine, and you can go around and have tasters of wine at some stalls, but you can also buy wine. So it depends what you want and where you go. You can buy bottles of wine. You can take it home or you can drink it there. And you do get a ticket when you go in. If you buy a carafe, it's plastic but not plastic. If you buy a carafe, then you can go with your entrance ticket, hand that in, and you can fill it up one time. So we do that, and then there's plenty of places there to eat. Obviously, Cypriot food, so you can choose where you sit and which one you go to. There's things like pizza and that as well, but you won't get your Kentucky Fried Chicken and those sort of chains there. They wouldn't allow that, but you can have basic stuff there. Chimneys that Gail's View actually shows. Jeannie's Point, Jeannie's View, she shows chimneys. You could get chimneys there. There's stalls to buy nuts and little toys and souvenirs. There used to be years ago, you could buy T-shirts there. Me and Mike have got many a T-shirt and vest top and whatever from there, but they stopped doing that a few years ago, which was a bit strange. And then there's music laid on there, so there's music going on in different areas all night. What else is there? Oh, there's toilets there, but at the beer festival, no toilets. Can you imagine? No toilets. And it was quite a walk away to find some public toilets. Yep, no toilets. Back to the wine festival. Yep, but there's also, you can go up and tread the grapes to make the wine in a big barrel. And I did one year. There is a video on my channel with me doing the traditional Cypriot dance, like treading the grapes, a traditional Cypriot dance. There's a video of that. If you want to see that and you can't find it, just ask me for the URL. So I've got the whole dance, me doing the whole dance. So if you want to see that. So we tend to go once. It's on for, as I said, several days, the wine festival. We go once. When it was bigger and there was more to buy and see and do, we used to go twice. There was more to taste. There was, as I say, you could buy T-shirts and a few other things more. It's still good. The atmosphere is good there. And as I say, you've got all the Cypriot music, live music. And then there's different areas you can go, because in the municipal gardens, there's also a big outdoor theatre, a proper theatre, but it's outdoor. And they always have something going on there as well, which I have shown a little bit at the end of the video that I'm going to be posting. So there's definitely plenty to do in Cyprus. There's also, of course, the history of Cyprus, and I've got some videos coming up on this channel of some very awesome places I've been to recently that you just need to see the whole video of the places I've been going to. And one of the places is Tomb of the Kings, and it's a long video for me. I normally do about 10 minutes of video, something like that, and I think it was about 22 minutes, which I guess isn't that long really, but for me that's a long video. But I wanted it all in one video because you go down into the tombs, you go underground, there's columns, ancient columns all underground, and more besides. And as I say, I've got lots more places coming up as well. So do look out for those. If you want to see places I've been and places I go, I've got a playlist on this channel that I've called Out and About in Cyprus. So if you want to see places of interest here or strange places, go and look at Out and About in Cyprus. And there's some extreme places. From one place to the next is so extreme different. So I've got that. If you want to see my walks, then look at my playlist. I think that's called Rural Mountainside Walks. Something like that. Rural Mountainside Walks by my house in Cyprus, something like that. So if you want to see my walks, and I've got another walk video coming up soon. So you've got that as well. So do check out my playlist to find what you want. Some people love all the gardening stuff. There are different playlists on that. So you've got my indoor growing. That's got its own playlist. What else has got its own playlist? Raised beds has got its own. Hugelculture, I think, is just mixed in with other growing. I've got growing tips. I've got my gardening glossary. What else? Let me just look. I have actually gone through and written down all my playlists because I was trying to see what playlist I've actually got the other day. Let me see if I can find my playlist where I wrote all that down. Let me have a quick look. Playlist. Full growing cycles of produce, vegetables and fruit. I've got a playlist on my gardening books, if you're interested in seeing my gardening books. Gardening glossary, so that's where I go through the alphabet of gardening words and terms and explain those. There's a playlist called General Gardening and Garden Tips. Indoor greenhouse seed cultivation. Now, it's not a greenhouse. It's my homemade, how I grow indoors. It's not a greenhouse. Raised growing beds. Then there's a general playlist, which is probably really big now. Our fruit, veg, trees and other produce. Bugs and insects, friends or foe. It's a really good playlist there. And if there's any bugs you don't know about, ask me. I'll make a video on it. Nature, creatures and all animals. That's a lovely little one. Things that I've seen in my garden. There's loads of hedgehogs and different birds. Seasonal holidays, festivals, traditions and customs. So if you want to learn more about Cyprus. Products of Cyprus, that's very interesting. Quick, simple recipes with homegrown produce in Cyprus. They're very few ingredients, they're very easy and quick to make, and they're very frugal. So check out my quick, simple recipe playlist. Relocating to Cyprus and our renovations. Then I have several playlists of different long projects on my property. So one I call Go Get Funding, Olive Farm Hideaway. So that's one building. It's a big outbuilding project. Join My Journey, become a patron. Project Morph, that's for like-minded people who live like I live, and then I share your videos, you share my videos, and it's collaboration. Another big project is Derelict Abandoned Donkey Stable Rebuild. Then we've got Airbnb Bed and Breakfast Cyprus. Then I've got a playlist, Rural, Off-Grid and Frugal Living. That's for a lot of you of interest. Unboxing and channel shout-outs. The one I was telling you about, Rural Mountainside Walks in Cyprus. That. Another one I spoke about is Out and About in Cyprus. Then one that's just chit-chats and vlogging, which is called All About Me, Chats and General Vlogging. Then there's one study, planning and learning tips plus learning languages. There's that one. Cat diaries, that's a bit of fun. That's also on my other channel, Tranquility Through Life's Natural Beauty. I have cat diaries there. Dolls houses, craft and hobbies. Again, most of my hobbies are on my other channel, Tranquility Through Life's Natural Beauty. And that concludes my current playlist on this channel. So do go and have a look. There's far more content on this channel than you probably even realised. Okay, I'll go finish there for now. Thank you so much for watching. It's been a lonely one today, but thanks for being there, and I'll see you here again on Wednesday.